Hey everybody, it's Michelle from Goodness Gracious Gluten Free. This is my friend Jamie, and I'm going to get off the counter. Okay. It's so far up there. What happens when you're short? So today we're going to be making some Boozy Balls for you for Christmas or New Year's, or just a random Tuesday when you feel like you need to have a little something delicious to snack on.
Absolutely.
So we have 4 kinds of Boozy Balls today. 2 of them are cake balls and 2 of them are truffles. And so I'm not going to show you how to bake the cake today because I figure that you can follow the recipe and it's really easy. If you can make a cake mix, you can make the cake. So we're going to start with a step that you're assuming that the cake is already made. Sound good? So our first cake ball that we're going to show you how to make today is the mint chocolate cake ball, and it has one of the minty liqueurs in it. And so when you bake the cake, you actually put the liqueur into the cake mix.
Oh, yum.
And then and then when you make it into the cake ball in a second, you add a little bit more. So if you don't want it super minty, don't add the extra. But if you want it minty, add the extra. Hold on, the vacuum cleaner's going. Bad timing.
Oh, little Roomba. She heard that you were baking Boozy Balls.
I forgot it was going to go on. Perfect timing. All right. So we have a perfectly made cake that Jamie's going to destroy. And this is how you make the cake into cake balls. So it's just a gluten-free chocolate cake mix that I added some, and you can use a spatula, whatever you want. That I added some cream de menthe to it, or peppermint, whatever you want. Either the pepperminty or the, we're doing it with Andes mint, so I went with that kind of flavor.
Are all the peppermint schnapps pretty much gluten-free?
I only Googled the one that I bought. So
okay, I didn't know.
Use Google. There's a whole list of gluten-free alcohol online that you can find. So she's going to smash that up. And since it's the holiday season and it's kind of busy, for the other cake ball, I actually made homemade buttercream frosting that I put a little bit of amaretto in. And that recipe will be online, so you can make it that way too. But if you're busy, don't beat yourself up, and you're just going to use the store-bought frosting mix, and it says gluten-free right on it. So to that, we're going to add frosting. And I'm going to chop up a few Andes mints to put into the batter for you.
Yum.
And then you can add the alcohol in there as well. And it's going to make it super moist, so you can roll it into balls after we put it in the fridge for just a little bit. By putting it in the fridge, it makes it a little bit firmer, so they stay together better and they're not crumbly. And you want to chop the Andes mints up pretty fine because nobody wants like a big bite in the middle of their table.
Oops.
Whatever.
Yep. Easy peasy.
Yeah, just mix it all up. That was yummy.
And then I add,
yep.
So 1/3 cup?
It's actually a 1/4 cup, but I didn't have another 1/4 cup because I haven't used, I have all my 1/4 cups used up. There's apparently a lot of 1/4 cups if you're making 4 different kinds of cake balls.
Oh yeah.
Or Boozy Balls.
Boozy Balls.
Boozy Balls at the same time.
This seems like this would be, especially not having to make the cake from scratch, such an easy.
Actually, they go together fairly quick. It's just the refrigeration in the middle that takes a little bit.
Okay.
And then I have one of these melters. I think you can see it on the camera. I have one of these melters with dark chocolate chips in it that I'm using Santa Barbara chocolate in all of my melting chocolate today. It's my favorite chocolate company, or one of them, that I really love their products. Everything melts super smooth. It's very high quality. The coconut fat, or the chocolate fat in this is amazing, so it actually is chocolate. Okay, so then I chopped up a few Andes mints, and we're going to put them right in. And Jamie can mix those up.
I've never made these. My kids have always wanted to make
cake balls. They're
cake
so
balls.
Easy. Now that you've made them, you're always going to want to make them.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were this easy.
So then that's all that is. And now you're going to put it in the fridge until it gets a little bit firm.
Okay.
Which we happen to have one in the fridge that's a little bit firm. So we'll take that out, and then you can watch Jamie. You can just set it behind you.
Okay.
So this one is already made, and it's firm in the middle.
So you just put it in a smaller container then to...
That's actually the cake pan I baked the other cake in.
Okay.
I just put it back in that because it was easy. And so we can use this handy dandy scoop. You're actually not on the camera. I'm around the corner.
Okay.
Just scoop it out, and then you're gonna put it in your hand and roll it.
Okay.
And then we'll put it on this with parchment paper, so you can see how it rolls. On your head.
And then roll the
Just
ball.
roll it into a ball.
Oh.
So easy.
So easy.
Cause see how that one's like really moist. You wouldn't be able to roll the balls yet.
Yeah, definitely not.
And then after she rolls them into balls, then we can dip it by using a fork into the chocolate sauce so that it will coat the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, I just think I might have to
I know.
experiment
You know
with
what you're
this.
having for Christmas at your house.
I know. We're
And
having
if you
Boozy
have
Balls.
kids and you don't want to make them boozy, just leave the alcohol out. It's all the same. You can just have, you could just use mint extract if you didn't want the alcohol in it.
Well, maybe the kids would take a little snoozer. I'm just kidding.
Or if you have adult children, like I pretty much do, they probably would like the Boozy Balls.
Now but the alcohol bakes off on the...
It does, but the study that I read says that it leaves a little bit behind, but then we just added a third of a cup or a quarter of a cup of alcohol to it.
Yeah.
That won't bake off anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, have a nap.
You know.
Yeah. So
Everybody needs a little Christmas nap.
if you want to do just one more, then we can dip them and show everybody how to dip.
Some balls are bigger than others. I'm not the best ball roller.
That's okay. Everybody likes different size balls.
That's so true. Okay.
Perfect. And now we can, I'm going to just pull this, I'm going to unplug it because we actually don't. Molly, look up, puppy. Or I'll pull it closer. Oh, just kidding. Here we go.
Okay.
And then here's the fork. And I'll show you guys how to do this. So I have my parchment paper on my baking sheet. And I would, if it was my preference, I would put these back in the fridge for about 30 minutes so they were really cold. But since this just came out and they haven't been sitting out very long, but if you're rolling up like the whole 2 cake mixes, because a cake mix will make 2 round cakes. So if you were making all of that, I would put this whole tray back in the fridge for about 30 minutes so that when you dip it, they would stay together better. And then you can store these in the fridge in a sealed container until you're ready to serve them. And they're also really good frozen. If you want a little frozen treat, but just don't break your tooth. I am not liable for tooth breaking. Yeah. All right, so then it just goes in, you swirl it around, and then back on the tray.
That's it?
That's it, James. And then if you really wanted to be fancy, you can make like a little design on your chocolate, or add sprinkles or whatever you'd like to the top. But I have extra Annie's mints that I chopped up finely, and we're just gonna put a little bit of that on top.
Oh, cute.
You wanna try?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my finger. I'm gonna wash my hands.
This is great. I don't know if this
So easy. And kids would like to make these, I think. If you did the non-boozy version.
Caroline would totally get into this.
Like, because you've got big kids too, so I think they would totally love to do it. And if you don't want to just stab it, you can just set the cake ball on top of your fork and just put it in and roll it around. It makes it easier to get off.
You did that a lot more gracefully than I did.
And then, if you just set it on there, and then just roll it around with a spoon and the fork.
Ah, like a meatball.
Like a meatball.
Meatball.
Perfect.
That gets it really coated. That's good.
Yeah. And then back in the fridge. After to harden, and they are so good. And they smell really good. Like it's the creamed, whatever it is, the mint liqueur. I'm using peppermint liqueur. And the Andes mints. They just smell amazing. And I'll sprinkle it for you. Because everybody likes a little extra this time of year on top of their Boozy Balls.
Boozy Balls. You know, cooking and stuff has come such a long way. I don't remember things being this fancy as a kid.
No? What was like some of your family traditions for the holidays? Like, did your family make certain things?
My mom made cutout cookies every year.
Like sugar cookies?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so that was always fun. And then being from Ohio, everybody
Do you make them at home?
No.
They're really easy to make.
And Andy's family, they were really big into creamed mint bars.
Oh.
And
like grasshopper bars?
Yeah.
I can't talk today.
And some type of, it was like a wedding cake. Like
Italian wedding cake?
Like those little wedding cake balls?
Yes. Oh, those are good.
With the nuts?
With rum?
Mm-hmm.
Or amaretto, whatever you put in those.
Yeah.
Those are delicious.
Yeah.
Sprinkle on here. And see, some of these, because the cake balls were so cold, like they're already getting hard on the shell, which is
that's nice.
Yeah.
If you're in a little pinch.
If you're in a little pinch, you could just throw them in the freezer too, so they harden. Like if you're on your way to a party, and since we live in Arizona, sometimes it's a little bit warm out this time of year. You can throw them in the freezer before you leave, so you don't have melted balls.
You'd have frozen balls.
You'd have frozen balls. So that's it.
You know what would be really cool?
What?
Is to like hollow out the center and do a little shot out of it. I'm just kidding.
That would be awesome. I'm coming to your house later with these all hollowed out.
We're gonna be trialing these balls at my house.
We'll be trialing these balls later. If anyone wants to stop by and have a sample of our balls.
Yes.
Yes. So the other recipe that I made, that we're not going to demonstrate for you right now, but it will be up on my blog later, are eggnog cake balls, because it is the time for eggnog.
Oh.
And I used a white cake, a gluten-free white cake, and I added eggnog to it for part of the liquid, as well as dark rum. Sorry, I couldn't remember if I used brandy or dark rum, but I used dark rum in the eggnog one, and it is fantastic. And the same process. So there's alcohol baked into the cake. You shred the cake, and I made homemade buttercream frosting with a little bit of dark rum in it. And so whipped that all together, and then I added it to the cake and made it all squished together, and then rolled it into balls. And then I dipped it in the white chocolate, and I sprinkled a little bit of nutmeg on top, because eggnog and nutmeg go hand in hand. So I can show you what they all look like all done, because I have a little sampler. So these are the eggnog cake balls, and then these are the Andy's Mints ones that we just made, the mint chocolate Boozy Balls. Would you like to try one?
Yes. Which one?
Which one do you want to try?
Oh, white chocolate. So I just had, I don't like eggnog.
Oh, you don't?
No, but I, this weekend, had never had, me, of all people, have never had, like, real eggnog, like with alcohol in it.
Oh! So it makes it all better.
It does! I'm like, I feel like I've been missing out all of my life.
You have. So I don't like milk products. Like I don't drink milk. I only put coconut milk in my coffee. But I love eggnog with a little bit of alcohol in it, made into a latte. So
I've never thought about
in
that.
it, I make myself an eggnog latte this morning, and it's pretty fantastic.
These are pretty fantastic.
Not super boozy, but just a little boozy.
I can't taste the booze.
Perfect. So
they're delicious though. They're very moist.
Yeah. Nice little treat for Christmas or New Year's or a random Tuesday or Monday, whatever day it is. Monday.
Oh my gosh.
So those are our first two, our two cake balls. And those recipes will be up later. So I'm going to move these out of the way and we'll move on to the truffles.
I'm going to sit here and eat these all day. Oh my gosh.
Perfect. That way sharing is caring, and that way I won't eat them.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate both of the truffle recipes for you because I don't know that everybody's used a double boiler before. It takes me back to like home ec, where I grew up with my home ec teacher. I wish I could think of her name right now, but I can't. I can think of her real name, but I would never call her that. Like her real name is Doris. But I can't think of her last name. You know when you like run into your teacher even as an adult, you're like, hi, Mr. or Mrs. whatever. I can't actually call her Doris, but Doris, you talking about a double boiler was in home ec. It's probably one of my favorite classes because I'm kind of home ec-y. Becky home ec-y. You know.
Yeah, I wasn't.
No. That's okay.
I took the class, but
I loved it. It was like probably one of my favorite classes. We sewed. We did all kinds of stuff.
Really? I probably should have paid attention. I'd be a better homemaker.
You're an awesome homemaker, Jamie. I don't know what you're talking about. You're awesome. All right. So the double boiler method. So I have a pot of water that is simmering right now, and you want to have a pot that fits into your, or a bowl that fits into your pot that doesn't touch the water. So So it might have steam on it, but it's not actually wet from the water because you don't want to burn your ingredients. So the first one we're gonna make is the cranberry almond the cranberry almond Boozy Balls.
How many Boozy Balls have you had?
I should have had the Boozy Balls. Cranberry almond Boozy Balls. And so the almond in it is amaretto. And so that gives a nice little sweetness to it. And amaretto tastes like almonds because it's made from almonds.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I learned about rum-chata the last time.
I know. Have you ever had amaretto in your coffee?
I have not, but I do like to drink. It's a drink called a mother-in-law.
Oh.
And it's vodka with raspberry amaretto in it. And it just really warms you up inside.
It's like a hot toddy.
Uh-huh.
A little nip.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they call it? A nip? Is that what they call it? You need a little nip?
Maybe.
All right, so to my double boiler, I'm going to add my white chocolate from Santa Barbara Chocolate. You can Google them. They're amazing, and they ship nationwide, I think. But such high quality chocolate. So it's going in here. And I have my whisk ready because you do not want this to burn. And this version of it, I'm making it with cream cheese. The other version will be the traditional chocolate and cream, but this one has cream cheese. So this is 4 ounces of cream cheese. And I'm going to add it in here, and it's all going to melt together. And the cream cheese just makes it really decadent and delicious. Be careful not to burn your hand when you're stirring this once it all starts to melt. I don't know if I can turn it this way so you can see it melting, but it's already melting on the bottom, like where the steam is coming up and heating the chocolate. But you really don't want it to burn because chocolate is so delicate. You have to be really careful when you're working with it.
I've never done it.
And you don't want to add your alcohol when it's on a gas stove or a regular stove, unless you like flambe.
Good point.
Or you don't like your eyebrows.
Good point. I didn't think about that.
So I'm going to have you chop, and it has cranberries in it as well because it's cranberry almond Boozy Balls. So I'm going to have you chop up our cranberries if that's okay. And when you're making this kind of truffle, you need to, it has a few steps of in and out of the fridge and freezer, but don't be afraid, it's going to be totally worth the work. It's really not that hard once you get it assembled. It's just going to be similar to making the cake balls, just a little more delicate because you can't roll the chocolate in your hands because it melts because your hands are hot. Otherwise you look like you were playing like in, well, this would be like in white stuff, but like the chocolate ones look like I was playing in the mud yesterday.
Yeah.
When I was making them, because I had chocolate everywhere. Not a bad thing, but you know.
Do you do a lot of baking with your girls?
You know, my youngest daughter likes to participate in stuff like that, but my older daughter would rather just have it be done for her.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Same
situation.
Yeah, she's not really interested in baking, but she's coming to decorate. They're both going to decorate. I'm making sugar cookies.
Oh.
And so they're going to come and decorate sugar cookies on Friday for the last day of school.
Do you do those from scratch or do you?
Oh, you're funny.
Well, you're like so good like that.
I know, I don't. I have not mastered a really good sugar cookie, gluten-free sugar cookie yet.
That's what I was hoping for.
I know, I'm sorry. I just bought the Pamela's mix.
The what?
Pamela's
mix.
I've heard it's amazing, so that's what we're going with.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so my chocolate is getting really melty and thick with the cream cheese in it now. So I'm just going to keep stirring until it's all smooth because you don't want a bunch of chunks in it. And then I'm going to pull it off the heat, add the alcohol, and a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. See, I told you I'm using a lot of my 1/4 cup measuring ones, so I didn't have another one for that one. But, all right, it's looking pretty delicious over here. Just keep stirring because you don't want it to burn. And be careful not to burn yourself because my pan is spreading around and I can feel the heat on my arm. Okay, it's all melted and delicious. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Really beautiful melty white chocolate.
White chocolate is the best.
Are you a white chocolate fan or a
I
dark
love
chocolate fan?
White.
Okay, so I'm going to make the other chocolate one. So I'm just going to put this pot on top of the double boiler to start heating it up because I didn't have 2 of the same bowls. Alright, so now I'm going to add in our alcohol carefully. It is amaretto and it's a 1/4 cup. And then I also have a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar to add in here. So put that in and then we're going to whisk. So it's all smooth. And then we'll throw the cranberries in after. Oops, amaretto's splashed onto my bowl. Oh my gosh, can you smell it?
I was
It
just going to
smells
say that.
so good.
Oh my gosh. gosh.
And it's like all nice and
It's perfect.
it is like nice and smooth, except for a couple of them, so powdered sugar. It's a good arm workout. All this like boozy ball making.
Maybe if I made some
Here you
boozy
go.
balls.
Check out that chocolate.
Looks beautiful.
I wish this was smeller vision because I wish you could smell how delicious this almond flavor
Oh.
is. So there we go. You can throw in the cranberries, man.
All of them?
All of them right in.
Alright.
And then, since this is so hot, we obviously can't roll it into balls right now. So I'm just going to mix this up. And I'm going to put it into like a shallow dish with a lid. Because it can either go in the freezer if you're in a hurry to get them made for a party, or in the fridge overnight, and then you can roll them up the next day.
Okay.
So I'll just pour this in here. And you want it in a shallow dish so it's easier to roll out with your scoop. Do you mind washing the scoop so we can show everybody how it's done? Thanks, Jamie. I forgot about it. So put it right in here to the shallow baking dish. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to make the rest of these later because they're going to be awesome for Christmas or New Year's Eve or when the company stops by this time of year. It'll be perfect. Wednesday night dinner.
I should.
That's it. And then it goes in the fridge. Lid on. And so, like I said, into the fridge or the freezer. The fridge is overnight and the freezer's for about an hour, and it should be nice and thick so that when you scoop it, it will come right out and you can just release it like cookie dough consistency. And I have one already made so you can see it. Throw this baby in the fridge and get the other one out. Okay.
So whether you put it in the freezer or the fridge, it will kind of turn out.
It'll turn out like this, almost like a fudgy consistency. Like this is pretty firm.
Okay.
You will move this out of the way.
Okay.
And then we have a baking sheet. And so we're gonna dip these cranberry almond ones into white chocolate. Let's just move some of this out of the way so we don't chop these. Just real quick. Perfect. Now I can pull this. There we go.
Okay.
Awesome. Look at all my cups. Like they're all there. Okay. So when you go to roll these into or when you go to dip them into the chocolate, you have to work pretty fast because the chocolate will start melting the minute that you put it into the white chocolate. So it's got to be a quick thing. So I'll move this out of the way so you have more room. I know I need and over here we have this, a rotating camera, and over here we have this, and over here we have this. So we could go to stations. That would be amazing.
It would.
Hey, babe, if you're watching for Christmas, I need a rotating camera. Or maybe just an assistant.
Or a
who
camera
films
crew.
me. No, camera crew. On my wish list for Christmas. All right, cookie scoop, Pampered Chef, whatever kind of cookie scoop you have, or melon baller, anything like that. And so we're not going to make these super big because they're pretty rich. And so I would scoop these out, and then honestly I would probably freeze them solid before dipping it in the chocolate. Okay. So once you get it thick, I would put it back in the freezer, freeze them solid like for another hour. Just because if you watch, I'm gonna make them like this, but the minute I roll it, it's melting.
Oh wow.
So you wanna try one?
Try to make one?
Yeah, so you can even just push it into here. Push into here and then put it on the sheet. See, that's going to be pretty. It's not going to be a round ball like that, but it'll still be pretty.
Absolutely.
So I'll let you
especially once it's in your mouth.
Yeah. You don't really care what shape the ball is once it's in your mouth. It's just going to be delicious.
Absolutely.
So I have some in the freezer, frozen. So I can show you how to dip them. So I put mine in a little dish with parchment paper so that they wouldn't stick. But they are frozen solid and I can touch them for a few seconds. And so I'm going to share, well actually I'll just put them back on here.
So this is just melted
white chocolate. The same kind of chocolate that I used to make these is what I melted in there. Okay. I didn't thin it. But you could add, if you want to be really fancy, you could add like a little more alcohol to there. But it'll be a little more thin. Like it won't give you as thick of a coating if you do it that way. But I think it would still work. Okay, here we go. I'm going to use this fork, and I'm just gonna roll it around real quick, because it's gonna start melting with this hot, delicious chocolate. And right back here onto there. And you could even cut up like a few little cranberries to put on top. We could have done that.
Cute.
It would be really cute. We still can do that. I'll just get the cranberries. Or I have slivered almonds, so you can do either.
Oh.
I'll let you choose. You can decide. I just forgot them over there. So, you gonna try the frozen ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we try the raw one?
Yeah, try
See
it.
how the non-pro does it?
You're not. You're a pro. Right. So we could be really fancy. We could do one cranberry and almonds.
You could what?
Look, we're gonna do one cranberry.
Oh.
So I'll do one cranberry with like a few little almond slivers on top.
Cute.
Isn't that cute?
That is.
So
Those are adorable.
that's how you make the cranberries. I'm gonna let you keep working on the frozen ones. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll start making the chocolate. So you can see, but I'm gonna wash my hands because it's sticky. Molly! Sorry, my puppy is here and there's butter all over your sink.
She wants some Boozy Balls.
She wants Boozy Balls more than life itself. Alright, so this is a traditional method of making truffles with the chocolate and cream. So you're going to put the cream in first because you want it to heat up so that it can help melt your chocolate. So it's 1 cup of heavy cream right into the double boiler, and you don't want it to burn, so you want to watch it really carefully. And then I have 2 cups of dark chocolate from the Santa Barbara Chocolate Company. Again.
Are you a dark chocolate fan?
So to me, dark chocolate is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And these are going to be our chocolate orange Boozy Balls. Our truffles will have, I use Contro in it, and it's made from orange peels.
Oh.
So.
Boy, I am like getting educated on booze.
You could use triple stack or Grand Marnier.
Ooh.
They all are orange flavored, just whatever you have. That happened to be what we had it from when we made margaritas this summer.
Mm.
So my cream is getting warm now, so I'm going to pour in my 2 cups of chocolate. I'm going to let it get nice and melty together, and then I will remove it from the heat once again and add in the liquor because I don't want to flambe, and I like my eyebrows, so we'll do that. But it's melting already. This chocolate is so amazing. It's just awesome to work with.
That white chocolate just melted down like nobody's business.
Nobody's business, and this chocolate is melting just as lovely.
And I've never used a double boiler.
You've never used a double? I should let you do this.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I am learning from the master.
You're learning from watching?
Uh-huh.
At a
Yep.
safe distance from over there?
Uh-huh.
So
Because I would have added the alcohol in there and singed myself.
well, chances are you wouldn't, but just in case, nobody wants an accident during the holidays.
No.
No. So I'm just going to keep stirring until it's all mixed together. And then it's the same process. We're going to pour it into a low covered dish, put it in the fridge or the freezer, and then let it get to a nice fudgy consistency, and then scoop it out just like we did with the white ones. And then these ones, we are not going to re-dip into chocolate.
Oh.
We are going to roll them in cocoa powder.
I remember
Cocoa
that.
powder. And it will be delicious. So I'm not sure if you've ever had like a truffle from I can just think of the ones like at Whole Foods that come in a little cardboard box.
Mm-hmm.
And they are always rolled in cocoa powder.
Mm-hmm.
I really like. But I like dark chocolate. So if you don't like dark chocolate, you could re-dip it, or you could use milk chocolate in this recipe, or you could re-dip it in chocolate so it's sweeter and not quite so dark. But I'm a dark chocolate fan, so I will be eating these. So is your house divided on chocolate like mine is?
Let's see. My girls like white chocolate.
They both like white chocolate.
Mm-hmm. And Andy likes dark chocolate. It's his preference, but he'll do white chocolate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh and Monica like milk chocolate.
Oh.
Milk chocolate or bust, and Claudia and I are dark chocolate or
So no
bust.
white chocolates in your house, huh?
No, I don't mind white chocolate if it's good chocolate and it actually has chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's delicious, but I think it's really sweet.
I love it.
Okay, this is getting to be, look at this beautiful, melty, it's almost like chocolate pudding.
Mm.
I pretty just.
I mean, all these different smells and.
I know. Doesn't it just make you want to lick the spoon?
I'd like to just sit on the couch all day with.
Oh, a good movie, and we could have Boozy Balls all
There
day.
you go.
Have you seen any good movies?
You know, I'm pretty lame.
No, you're not.
But we just, as a family, we just watched that, the National Lampoons.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. That movie just cracks me up every time.
It is it the Christmas one that you like?
Yeah, the
Uncle
holiday.
Eddie.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Is that his name, Uncle Eddie?
Yes.
And it's like...
Cracks me up every time, and, you know, I pick something new up every time.
Oh, I haven't seen it. All I need to watch it again. All I can think of is when he's standing on the curb.
Oh, yeah.
In his robe. Not super appropriate, but he's like, sugar's full! I don't know why I find that so funny, but I do, because, you know, me and poop jokes kind of go along together. But this is my 1/4 cup of Contro. It's orange flavored liqueur going right in. And I'm just going to whisk it right in until it's nice and smooth again. But that'll add extra deliciousness. But if you didn't want to add alcohol to your truffle, stop. Don't add that step in. Just keep going. And you'll have a delicious truffle without the alcohol. Easy peasy. Like, it didn't take me more than 5 minutes to melt that down.
Yeah.
Then we're ready to pour it into a pan. So this part is really, really, really easy. So nice, wonderful, smooth consistency.
I never knew that this is how you made a truffle.
Going into a shallow dish with a lid. Nice sliding over a little. And then I'm going to put this one back in the fridge too. And I have it all done for the next step, so you'll get to see it. Okay, going down. Doesn't that look like pudding? So what are you guys doing today? Oh, we'll be on the couch. Just, you know, with a spoon.
It'll be that true saying, I sat on the couch and ate
Bonbons.
and
We ate Boozy Balls.
we ate Boozy Balls and watched Christmas movies.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like the best
The
day.
Hallmark Channel and cried.
That sounds like the best day.
Yeah.
ever. Oh my gosh, I would do that. Alright, now I'm going to put the lid on and back in the fridge, and then I'll show you the next step with it. So Jamie did a great job. Like, your white ones that you rolled out look amazing. Your whole tray over there looks so good.
Very festive.
And how hard was it?
It was super easy.
Super easy.
Even I can do it.
Anybody can do it. Alright, so here's how it comes out of the fridge. And this, I made these yesterday, and it's like fudgy, like super fudgy and delicious. And then we're going to roll them into cocoa powder this time. So I'll grab, there's a random cranberry. There we go. I'll grab a little more parchment paper. Oh, you're good, Jamie. What were you doing?
Need a tray?
Okay. We'll just do it right here.
Okay.
Alright. Put it on top so it holds it down for us.
Okay.
Move these ones out of the way so you can see. We have so many balls. We have balls everywhere.
Balls on the ground. Or balls on the, not on the ground. No. What is that? Pants on the ground. You remember that song? It was like super popular. I think it was at Christmas time when they did the pants on the ground, pants on the ground. I said that to my kids last night, and they were like, I think you lost your marbles.
Alright, so it's... I want to hear this song now. We're going to have to find it when we're done. No. So, nice, thick in there. I'm just going to do this. And then you can roll it into the cocoa powder.
Oh, so you don't even have to worry
about... You
about...
don't have to, but you could do it into a ball if you wanted. And then literally you just roll it in the cocoa powder. Boom.
So you don't have to freeze these or refrigerate them? Because this is already
super cold. You don't have to, but if you were rolling like all these out at one time, you could refrigerate your balls if you wanted to, or freeze them so that they would roll nicely into the cocoa powder. But it sticks to them really nice when they're just a little bit starting to melt from doing your hands. So I'm gonna wash my hands again.
You could do some chopped nuts with the cocoa powder.
You could totally do whatever you want. That's the best thing about these. You can top them. You can make them as fancy as you want. One year I helped our friends. They were getting married, and I did 300 truffles for their wedding, as like a white one and a dark one, like the bride and the groom. And I did white swirls on top of the dark one, and I did dark swirls on top of the white one for their wedding. And
that's sweet.
That was our wedding stuff for them. But yeah, you could totally make them as fancy as you want.
That's a good idea.
It was a lot of a lot of truffles.
A lot of ball rolling.
A lot of ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Get the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole new thing.
This would be a good thing just to for little ones could
Little
do this
kids
one.
could totally, and they'd be licking their fingers, and that'd be super cute. But look how decadent this looks. Like this just looks like we're gonna eat fudge. And I'm not a huge fudge fan. I mean, I don't mind it, but it would not be my first go-to dessert. But because there's dark chocolate on the outside that you're rolling it in, it kind of takes away some of that. Like it's creamy in the middle, but there's something better on the outside. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So easy. You're gonna make these with your kids, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's
Maybe. I hope they're not watching, because then if I just say yes, then I have to do it.
Oh, well, we won't promise anything. There's a chance.
There's a chance. There's a slight chance that it could happen.
So this is it. So I'm going to have the recipes up later today, hopefully, if not tomorrow, on my blog for all 4 recipes for the eggnog cake balls.
Which were amazing.
I'm glad you like them.
Oh.
And then the mint chocolate cake balls, that will be up too. And then the 2 kinds of truffles, the chocolate orange truffle and the cranberry almond truffle, which I think that as much as I love dark chocolate, I think the cranberry almond ones might be my favorite out of all of these. I don't know why. They just look so festive with the cranberries in there and the white chocolate coating. So if you would like to look them up later, you'll have it and you can make it for your family or just for yourself, like whatever you want to do for the holidays. And it'll be amazing and delicious.
Absolutely.
So thanks for cooking with me again today, Jamie.
Thanks for having me. It's always so much fun.
It is.
I learn something new every time.
I know, now you get to know how to use a double boiler.
And I learn about alcohol. I learn
I'm
about...
a great educator for
You
that.
are. I mean, I'm like, holy moly. I would have never thought to do what you just did.
So easy. And it really didn't take us that long. And if you want to have like a really good time, invite all your girlfriends over and just have a boozy ball day. And then you could each make like a dozen. And you could switch so everybody could take home a few flavors of each ball. Like I think that should be a thing for next year.
Boozy Ball Day.
Boozy Ball Day. For
That's
sure.
a good party.
That's a great party. You can find my website at gggf.me or goodnessgraciousglutenfree.com. That's me. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and happy Monday and enjoy your week with your boozy balls.
Adios, amigos.
Yep. I have to get chocolate on my phone.